Alright, so we're talking about circles right now, and we're going to go over some definitions first, and then we'll actually go into the actual equations and test them out. Okay, so circles, center of the circle. Pretty self-explanatory right there. It's right in the middle. Okay, the actual circle is it's an actual shape that has all points equidistant from itself. So it's not so much like a parabola in that it has a directrix and all that stuff, but it is kind of like a directrix in that this is like the focus. The focus is the center of the circle. Okay, now let's go here. Okay, if I were to draw a line out from the center to the edge, that would be the radius. Okay, and no matter where I drew the line, so if I drew another one from here to here, and most people sometimes people tend to forget these, is that these two are going to be what we call in geometry, they're going to be called congruent. And most of you guys have already taken geometry, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. Alright, now standard form of an equation of a circle is this bad boy right here. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Okay, now how to find the center from the actual formula? You just do the opposite of whatever h is and the opposite of whatever k is, and voila, you have your center of circle. Now radius, I always tell people, oh, it's r, and they go, well, I see r squared, and I'm like, yeah, so you square root it. So here's the exact formula. The square root of r squared is going to be the radius, which is just r. Okay? Okay, so today what we'll be looking at right now is finding the center of the circle and its radius in these two equations. Okay, so this one's not as challenging. So the center, pretty easy. It's going to be the opposite of negative 16, which is 16, and the opposite of positive 6, which is negative 6. Okay, oops. Not 9/16, just 16. Okay, now the radius is going to be the square root of 121, which most of you guys are going to say, oh, it's plus or minus 11. Well, guess what? The radius in this case is going to be positive, so it's just going to be 11. Okay, so just use the positive versions for now. Now, here's a little bit more troublesome one. Now this is actually the standard notation for, it's the standard form of writing conics. You have your x squared, your y squared, your something with x, something with y, and then you have your number over here. So this is the standard notation. Getting the center of the radius of this circle, okay, is going to be a lot harder doing it this way unless you start working with completing the square. Okay, so x squared, first off I'm going to team up stuff. So 8x squared plus 8x plus y squared minus 10y equals 8. Okay, now in the past I've said, oh, keep the numbers on the same side. This one we're going to try to get numbers on both sides, okay, because that's how circles work. Okay, so we're going to do the first one, so it's going to be x squared plus 8x, so we do half of 8, which is 4, and then we add it, and so we get 16. Okay? Alright, and then we do the same thing here, so plus, and then we're going to have y squared, okay, y squared minus 10y, so we're going to do half of 10, which is 5, and then square it, which is 25. Okay, now if you notice I added two numbers over here, well, I got to add them over here. So 8 plus 16 plus 25. Okay, so remember, once again, these numbers do not appear out of magical thin air. They are half of the middle term squared to get there. Okay, and then we add it to both sides of the equation. Alright, so right now I'm going to factor the left side, so this is going to be x plus 4 squared plus y minus 5 squared, and that's going to equal, let me see, was that 24? 49. Okay, now it's a lot easier to deal with. We can actually find the center. It's really easy. Now this method we did for circles, we will also do for ellipses, hyperbolas, and pretty much anything you have to deal with. Okay, so center is going to be opposite of positive 4, which is negative 4, opposite of negative 5, which is 5, and the radius is going to be the square root of 49 which is going to be 7. Okay, so you can actually find that pretty easily. Now, looking at this information before and looking at the standard notation before, not as easy as looking at the actual standard form of a circle. Okay, so some of the times we will be transforming some of these bad boys into their standard forms. Okay, all right, but that's it for circles. Just take your time with it and do not forget the opposites of the actual vertex, or the opposites of the center are going to be in there. All right, that's it. Thank you. Bye.